y'all, it's Darla with Growing Tropical. Well, you guys, I'm standing over here on the south side of our property and at our personal home. For those of you who follow my channel, you know that Robin and I, back in February, purchased a vacation rental, and we've been working very diligently on that property, but we have it up and running, and now is the time for us to get back to our personal property and start taking care of some much neglected things around here. And the last video that I just uploaded a couple weeks ago was of our front porch and putting together our window box after we had a termite tent that was done back in the late summer, and it basically just made a mess of all of my plants, namely my window boxes and some landscape plants that we weren't able to get away from the house. But that's okay, because I am just putting one foot in front of the other, and I'm trying to take care of each of those plants, whether it be just cutting them all back if we didn't lose them, or taking the window boxes and just cleaning them all out. And I'm staying focused on my front porch area because that is the focal point of the house. When you walk up into our front entryway, it's the first thing that you see, and so I like for it to look nice, not only for when we have company, but for me, when I'm coming in and out. I love to walk up and I love to just see pretty things in my front entryway. And my window box up there is looking really, really good. Again, that video I did a couple weeks ago, I showed you guys I put in Macho ferns with some crotons. I'm probably going to be doing a little tweaking as we get closer to the Christmas holiday to put in some more vibrant color, but for now it is looking very, very pretty. And so I'm continuing on, and one of the things that I was a little disappointed in the decision that I made on my front porch was I had two Scheffalera, they were the Scheffalera umbrella trees that I had growing in each of the corners, and I had them in pots. And when I first bought those, they were just, you know, mid-size or whatever, and I had them up on the porch for, gosh, about a year and a half, and they were just gorgeous. Well, as a rule, Scheffaleras generally grow more on the slower side. Well, these guys just, for whatever reason, they loved their spot, they loved the fertilizer that I gave them, but they really grew quite quickly. And the one grew at the very far end of the porch. It grew so fast that Robin had to put a steel rod down through the center. He drove it all the way down to the pipe, or I'm sorry, he drove it all the way down to in the pot, and then staked up the arboricola. We just kind of tied it off to keep it straight up, because it just leaned, because it got so large and so heavy. It just leaned. And while it was absolutely gorgeous, it was time for those guys to go into the landscape, and that's exactly what I did. I took them out, I relocated them in the backyard, and they're absolutely gorgeous. If I get an opportunity, someday I'll have to show them to you, because they're going absolutely nowhere. But that left me with a huge void after having that very lush look up on that front porch. So what I did was, if you see here in front of me, I've got an arboricola. Now, these are also Scheffalera, but they are much smaller. The leaflets are smaller, and they do grow supposedly very small as well, and in my experience, they really do. But most of the time, the arboricola, you generally see them here in South Florida anyway, growing in the landscape as shrubs. They grow with either the solid green leaf, or they have a variegated leaf. Well, I had one of each, and I put them in each of the corners of the front porch. And while they were pretty, the porch lacked that really lush tropical look that I had had for many years. And so consequently, once I got back into, after we finished the property and everything, and once I got back into looking at the porch and trying to get everything back together, I decided this was the perfect time to go ahead and take these arboricola and put them in the landscape somewhere, and then bring back more of that lush look up on the porch. Now, okay, so clearly, y'all, it is the next day. I am so sorry. I am not entirely sure what was going on with my camera. Apparently a setting got changed, and my camera just kept shutting itself off. And by the time I got it all figured out and everything, it started getting a little bit too late. And so I quickly went ahead and I put together the one container pot that I was actually planning on putting together with you guys. But that's okay, because I'm still going to show you guys that demonstrate that container and show you what it looks like up on the porch. But I do have a second container that we'll plant together, and it's going to be for the other side of the porch. It's going to basically contain the same type of plants as far as I'm going to utilize another palm. So let's go ahead and let's just get started on getting that container planted up. So let's go and take a look at what these newly potted palms look like on the front porch. Okay, y'all, so this is the actual view when you're walking up to my front door. And as you can see, I've got palm trees growing in either corner now. Yay! I cannot believe that I didn't duplicate that. When we took down the Chefalera umbrella plants, I had one in either of the corners. They were sky high. I mean, they were towering up over, into here. And when I took them down, I lost a lot of that lush beauty that was on the front porch. And of course, the arboricola, as pretty as they were, they just did not give that beautiful lush look that I like on the front porch area. So anyway, walking in, you guys, this first palm right here in this container is a Majesty palm. Now the Majesty palms, they grow crazy here in South Florida because they are a zone 9 to 11. They grow in the landscape. They grow in container pots. As a matter of fact, they are ideal for containers because they are slow growing. This particular area that this Majesty palm is in, obviously, as you see, it's on my front porch. It will get a dappling light. Now there will be a period of time where it'll get a little bit more of a direct sun. I'm just trying to think. There's a little itty bitty, like maybe, I don't know, 30-minute window that it goes over, and it's over on, the sun's going over on this side. That's going to be the south side because we are in the month of October. But there's about a 30-minute time frame where that sun is just kind of setting in a little bit more in this little quadrant of the porch. But I've never had any issues because you figure the sun is really not intense right now as it is, in July, in August, September type, that time of the year for us. So I've never really had a problem with it scorching anything, and I don't think that it's going to start. So it's going to be a perfect spot for this Majesty pot, or for this Majesty palm to grow. This Majesty palm loves to be watered and loves to be fertilized, much like all the other palms that grow here in South Florida. And if you see, this particular pot doesn't have anything growing underneath. A lot of times what I do, y'all, is I love to be able to put pretty things underneath these palms. I've left it blank, or I've left it empty, I should say, for right now, because as we grow closer to the Christmas holiday, what I'm going to do is I'm going to more than likely duplicate what I did last year, the year before, etc., with poinsettia. And I will just kind of surround them, and it just adds a beautiful, beautiful pop of color up here on the porch. And so I did that on purpose for right now. But all in all, even without the poinsettias or anything underneath, it's looking exactly the way I wanted it to look. It just gives that little bit of a lush tropical look up here on the porch. So, and of course, there's my little decorations with my my parrots and my hibiscus. We've got this down south at a place called oh my goodness, I'm completely drawing a blank. I will drop the link actually to let you guys know, because it's a terrific place where they carry a lot of Talavera pottery. They carry a lot of you know, beautiful like things like this. This one I believe is metal. No, resin and metal. This is resin, this is metal. But they carry a lot of beautiful things like that. And so anyway, I'll drop the link if you guys are interested in looking at anything like that. So anyway, moving on. My gorgeous window box, of course, that one is on video. I will also put that link in the description if you are interested at all seeing how this window box came together. I'm going to back up just a little bit here. This is the Macho Ferns with the petrocrotons. I had to think about that for a minute. The only modification that I did on this from when I did the video was I added 2 more crotons. I put one on either end. In the beginning, I wasn't sure about doing it because the Macho Ferns are so large that I really thought they were going to arch over a little harder on the ends, but they didn't arch quite as hard as what I thought. So I went ahead and just put little fillers in there for right now, and just, you know, added a couple more of these beautiful petrocrotons. They're absolutely gorgeous, and they just make the window box look so lush and pretty. So now, here is the star of the show, actually. This is the one that I was going to plant with you guys before my video decided to start, or my camera decided to stop shutting off. It was shutting off on me or whatever. But this guy, he's an absolute beauty. The thriller in this pot is a cat palm. Now the cat palms, again, perfect for container plants because they are slow growing. They take a dappling light, which this corner will get just that, because we've got this huge canopy of all these, well, queen palms, foxtail, and spindles in the front yard, and they filled out absolutely beautifully. This area of the porch just gets an all afternoon. It gets bright light during the course of the day, and then as the afternoon wears on, it gets a dappling light, sunlight coming through all of these fronds. So this will actually should do quite well in this corner. This cat palm, if I don't want to repeat myself, I can't remember if I told you it requires, you know, a fair amount of water. They like to be watered and fertilized. Again, the fertilizer that I use is an 8-2-12 formula, which is perfect and ideal for palms. Lots of micronutrients as well. Now, this particular palm, or actually planting, I should say, what I did was I went ahead and I underplant this guy. And I put in pothos, which are right here, and these are variegated. You can see the gorgeous light creamy yellow, and of course then the green leaves. They're absolutely gorgeous. This guy needs to be watered. I mean, to tell you what, you talk about dry. Whoo, Lord of mercy. Anyway, we've got some Chinese evergreen also. I have 3 of those, and I believe 3 of the pothos. And the beautiful thing about this container, and it's something you always want to make sure you take into consideration, are the watering requirements. And for the most part, I think all of these things will do well with the same, you know, amount of light and the same amount of, you know, watering, and it should do absolutely beautiful. The only thing that I'm going to have to be careful with on this cat palm, which I have problems with, I'm not real sure if it's a problem that other people deal with, but here in South Florida, I know a lot of people deal on these cat palms. I get a lot of like mealy, what are they, those mealy bugs, or those spider mites is number one, mites. I get the mites, the spider mites, and then I get those little, I think they're called mealy bugs or whatever, the little powdery, I wish I had a picture, but I'm glad I don't. Actually, I just treat it either with a neem oil as we go into the winter months. We've got to be careful using oils here in South Florida because the sun, when it it's so intense here that it will actually burn the leaves when we use neem oil. So we've got to be careful. There's a certain time of the year that we can use neem oils, but a lot of times I just use like a Captain Jack's recipe for or an insecticidal soap, I should say. Excuse me. And it takes care of it. And as a matter of fact, I may, because we're still quite humid here, I may just go ahead and pre-treat this guy. So that is it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching me put this video together. Again, I do apologize for the cutoff, but I was just really excited about getting my front porch all finished up. Like I said, we're in the month of October, and it was really important for me to, after that tent and everything, that termite tent that we had, to just start getting everything put back together. And the front porch area, I really wanted to make sure that I took care of that. It is pretty much done up here. Not pretty much, it is done, with the exception of maybe adding some poinsettias as we go in closer to the Christmas holiday. But basically everything is done up here. It looks nice. My first window box is all complete. Yay. I will be working on the other window boxes. And actually, let me just tell you, the arboricola that I took out of the, actually it was this palm over here. I took that arboricola out, if you guys remember. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be planting it right. I'm going to flip this camera around. I don't want to make you guys dizzy at all. Right here. This guy got bit a little bit from the tent, the termiting and everything tent, and so I'm going to go ahead and remove him. You can see he's some of these are a little bit leggy anyway, but they'll be okay. This guy right here, he needs a little bit more TLC, so I'm going to take him out for right now and put him somewhere else where I can nurse him, and then I'm going to replace him with this guy right here that I took out. So anyway, you guys, flipping the camera back around. Bear with me 1 second. One day I'm going to learn how to use these cameras. But you guys, thank you again for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, definitely click on that subscribe button. So we'll plan on seeing you in the next video. Bye.